and welcome to Moments with Marilyn. Happy New Year, everybody. My name is Marilyn, and welcome to my podcast. Hey guys, I am super excited about everything. 2021 is going to be an amazing year, so I am glad to have you on this journey with me. So let me ask y'all something. I know I'm considering buying a house. Are you guys trying to buy a house? Are you tired of renting? Well, my special guest, she is an expert. I tell you, let me tell you something. When I met this lady, she has been on the move ever since I met her. She is all about the dollar bill, and you know what? She knows how to keep it coming, and she is definitely making sure her finances is secure for her future. So let me introduce you to this young lady who's a real estate mogul. She can tell you the do's and don'ts and what not to do when it comes to buying a house. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Miss Erin Hudson. Erin, welcome to Moments with Marilyn.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Girl, I am so happy to have you here because you know what? I'm thinking about buying a house this year. So I know that you do real estate. How long have you been doing real estate?
So I've been a licensed realtor for about 3 years, but I've been in real estate probably since 2010. I have my master's in urban planning. So taking kind of a concentration in urban and economic development through the use of appropriation of housing and things of that nature. So once I came out of kind of that discipline, then I moved into wanting to help people from a transactional standpoint to be able to obtain property. So.
Okay, so you can help me get a house?
I can, and some more things.
And my viewers to get a house? You said some more things. Yes. I know, because you have your hands in a whole lot of pots. I'm like, this girl stay busy, which I love that about you.
Thank you.
So with the real estate piece, so I know they say it's a quote-unquote seller's market.
Yes, and very much so in Florida on a whole other level. I had a friend of mine who listed her house literally on a Friday, and in 72 hours, she already had multiple offers, and she actually ended up selling the house over asking. So, yeah, it's definitely a seller's market. I mean, and that's good, right? So if you have a house and you're looking to sell, now is definitely the time to get it on the market because there is a lot of people looking. Those looking for houses, the demographics have changed, right? So I know Florida has now moved back into the number one place for retirees to come and retire. Arizona took that spot for a little while. Florida has now moved again back into that number one spot. So you've got now people wanting to come in and to Florida and live. So they have a place to live, right? And so a lot of these folks are that baby boomer generation. So they're at that 60, 65 and over. They've got money. They've got disposable income.
Yes.
And Florida does provide that nice environment with weather, all that stuff, beaches. So, we've got a lot of demand. And so one of the things, too, to kind of offset that is the new construction. So I know if you live anywhere in Riverview, New Tampa, you're seeing homes going up
new
all
construction.
the time.
Girl, but go back to the 65 plus. Let me tell you. So I went to a community.
Okay.
That's de-restriction for, we ain't gonna say the age.
55 and up? Yeah, because
Yes.
Don't do that. That's okay, because look, if I could get in there, I would. Because
I went to that community. Girl, the houses started at $400,000. And the lady's like, oh, honey, it's about a lifestyle and everything. And I'm like, what kind of picture is this that these people have? And you know what she told me? She said, these retirees pay cash for those homes.
Yeah. Well, and that's a whole other segment, but, having the appropriate investment set up, having, IRAs, having 401ks, investing in those things at the retirement age will afford you the opportunity to do that. And a lot of them are selling homes that they've had maybe in another location, moving down. Well, that's all now money you could put down for a down payment or pay cash, even if you have the opportunity. So, yeah, but that's a whole other segment. So,
right. So tell me, what are the do's and don'ts in real estate?
Okay.
So what should me as a buyer and my viewers as buyers, what should we do? Okay. Because I know with me looking, Riverview is off the chain expensive. Go to One Mama is cheaper. Ruskin is cheaper.
Right.
So what should we do as a buyer? Give me some tips.
So you hit on it initially, honestly. Knowing where you stand from a credit perspective. You want to be credit worthy. You also want to focus on having cash on hand. So a lot of people will focus on my credit score, but another driver for being able to purchase a home is having sufficient funds for a down payment. So whether that's, going FHA, doing 3.5%, or if you want to do conventional with, 5, 10, 15, 20% down, those are different variables that you want to consider, but having cash in hand is definitely something that should be a primary focus as well. I will tell people it's never too early to start inquiring about, how you are perceived by the market.
Right.
So how does a seller or how does a bank perceive you? And that's
Correct.
not just your credit. It's not just your cash on hand. It's, what is your, how are you looking from from a whole banking perspective? So where do you want to live? Knowing where you want to live. Are you looking for a home as a first time home buyer? If so, your priorities may be different. You may be looking at it from an investment standpoint as opposed to coming in and getting wanting to buy a $500,000 home because it's everything you ever wanted.
And it's unrealistic.
Exactly.
A lot of things we need to know our expectation.
Very much.
So that's a good thing. So give me another, what is something that we should not do when we go into these subdivisions? Tell us what we should not do.
Well, I'm going to tell you what you're not going to do before you get to the subdivision. What you're not going to do is run up a bunch of credit cards. Because prior going into, you want to get pre-approved. So that pre-approval is based on your current credit worthiness. If during the process of looking, you go out and accrue a lot of debt via credit cards or purchasing a new car, that's a different now price point that you're at. That's a different level of credit worthiness that you're at. So that's going to obviously impact what you're ending up being able to qualify for when it's time to close. So there's unfortunately have been clients where they get pre-approved, they're looking for a home, they found one, while the process of going through underwriting, they somehow go out
I'm an
buy
underwriter,
a car or something.
and I see it all day long.
Yeah.
When I'm like, did they just buy a car?
Yeah. So no closing.
Before you close. In fact, a friend of mine was buying her house, and I told her, I said, girl, whatever you do not have large deposits.
Yep.
No large deposits, people.
Yeah.
Do not go buy anything.
No, it's like the
do not use your credit, period. Put all your money in the bank.
Yeah.
And make sure you save it, because you're right. When we as underwriters, we look at all that.
Everything.
And not only that, at closing, they can pull your credit to see whether or not there's undisclosed debt that you have not reported. So as an agent, though, is it wise for them to go into a subdivision without a real estate agent, saying that they're not represented by a real estate agent? Because a lot of builders, they have agents on site.
Yes.
So should they use the agent on site, or should they go in with their own agent?
That's honestly a really, really great question. And not just as being a real estate agent, what I suggest that you do, I just think it's just great to have someone else advocating on your behalf that knows the process. They are stepping into it emotionless. Oftentimes, as a buyer, you're not stepping into it emotionless. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest investments that you can make in a lifetime. So you want to have someone else that's advocating for you that knows the business. So if for nothing else, get them for that. And you're right, the builders will have their own agents, but they're working on the behalf of the seller, which is the agent. Which is the builder. So I'm not saying they're going to be biased, but they're obviously wanting to protect the investment of the builder. So
because that's the company they work for.
Yeah, they want to make those sales. So
absolutely.
And you don't pay the commission for your buyer's agent. It actually comes out of the listing agreement, which is actually between the seller and the which is obviously going to be the builder. So you don't have to worry about that. So I'm paying for, yeah, you are, but you're not, so definitely take advantage of using a real estate agent, because they're working on your behalf, right? And they can see things that you can't. I know prior to me becoming a real estate agent, I did use a really good friend of mine who's an agent. I did new construction. So he was able to come through and see things that I, obviously, as someone that was new, obviously, to home buying, and obviously new to new construction, I would not have known. New construction
is a whole nother animal.
It's a whole other beast. I love new construction.
Yeah. I do too.
But I get some people.
Ain't nobody ever lived in.
That's me. My next one will be new construction too. So yeah. Yes.
So how can people contact you? Are you taking clients? 'Cause I know you got your hands in a lot of pots.
I do.
So can they contact you if they interested in seeing a home?
Yes. So, and I can give you my credentials so you can post them at the bottom of the thread. But yes, I work for People's Choice Realty Services, and I am taking new clients. I tend to spend a lot of time vetting. And what I mean by that is just making sure that you're in a position that you're a willing, able, and ready buyer. So there's several questions that we ask to see if that's you, right? And that's not just protecting myself and my time. It's also positioning you for readiness. You know, there's a lot of people who go into the market wanting to buy a home, but they really don't know what it takes. And so like you may want to move at the end of this month or at the end of 6 months, but it's like your credit won't let you do that. Or other things, your other finances may not let you do that. So knowing where you stand too, financially, and just being ready for what buying a home means. And if you have to sell before you buy, because that's a whole nother obstacle,
animal, yes.
then you definitely have to make sure you time that right. Because a lot of people are moving out, and if they're doing new construction, they're having to move into an apartment for 6 or 7 months, and then they're able to move into their home. But yes,
and then they call and say, "Well, we on a moving truck. We done got."
Yes,
we hear all kind of stories, girl.
It is. It's so crazy. I mean, and it's like you got to pray yourself through that, right? Because I mean, you're at the mercy of the person who's buying the home. So if and
the lender.
Yes. So if they're like out shopping, unfortunately, accruing more debt before before closing, and the bank's like, no, we can't do this. But now you've already went on, put a deposit down for a new home. It's all like a snowball, domino effect. So it's really stressful when you're having to sell and then also move into a home.
So if my clients, well, not my clients, but if my audience, they say, "Oh, I just love that Erin Hudson lady. I want to use her as my agent." Give them your contact information.
So you can contact me at hudson.erinr@gmail.com and also at onefloridarealtor_ehud@gmail.com. And you can call me. I'm giving my number out. It is my business number, so please use it for business. It is 813-858-0065.
So what if somebody see you and they say, "Oh, I like what I see."
We need they don't want to use the business process.
Right, we got to get through the girl. I'm like that too. We got to just get through the business first. Girl, I get a lot of these messages on Instagram, and I'm like, "Okay, have you subscribed to Moments with Marilyn?"
I need to support the cause too before
right. Then we can talk about that other stuff later. But I need you to subscribe before we go in it. Well, Erin, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it, girl. And I know you stay busy and on the move. So I thank you for taking the time to do this. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Moments with Marilyn. Continue to subscribe to the podcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Tell your friends and family about us. And Happy New Year. Yay. 2021 is going to be a great year. Awesome. You declare what you want, and you are fabulous. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.